All right, so good evening, and let me put this down here. Make sure you're listening to me. All right, perfect. So the question for this evening is your economy? Remember, when I use economy, I'm referring to the bar in Hebrew because that's the best translation. Eco means house, and nomos means rule. So, is your economy good enough to make you complete and whole? Complete and wholesome, or there's still something missing. There's still something that you lack. All right, that's the question of the hour right now. Is your economy good enough to make you complete or make you wholesome, or there's still something missing? Because people want to be part of an economy. That's how the world talks. I want to be part of an economy where I have access to everything, the latest technology. I have access to the latest vehicles, the latest fashions, the best of everything. I want to have that kind of economy and feel that there's nothing going to be missing there. So my question to you at this moment is: your economy, the one that you depend on, is it good enough to make you wholesome and complete? There's something that's still missing. There's something that you still lack. And to share this with you, let me get back here to I give you the background of my screen. I have a lot of stuff in there. But this is why I want to share to you today. And today, by the way, I'm going to be sharing a sermon that I preached to some kids in Hacienda Christian School back in 2005. That was like almost 2 years after I gotten over my minor stroke. And let me put this down here. Control it more from below here. All right. Guess it stays there. Let me put it out this way. Here we go. Okay. So what I'm referring to is it was like at the end of the school year that year. That was June around 2005. And you see me that I'm more chubbier then because I just started doing the water cure for about a year and a half. Yeah, it was about a year and a half that I had done it. And almost a little bit more than a year and a half. So I had lost some weight. My energy was back. You could see that I was able to preach. So I gave him a little sermon on what makes a person complete. And so I'm relating this to you so you'll know that I'm talking about these things for a long time, even longer than then. But this is something that I just came across and I thought I'd share with you. And then afterwards we'll talk about this thing about being complete in the bar, in the economy, in the words that regulate our lives. Because you have to have a strong economy, words that regulate your way of life, that are higher than the economy that surrounds the rest of the people. That way you're not affected when things that happen, like this pandemic happened. They will not really affect your life a great deal because your regulations for living your life are based on a better economy than the one that surrounds you. Okay, so I've been talking about that. So that's the question of the hour. How good is your economy to make you whole and complete? Or there's something that's still missing. There's something that you still lack. Okay, so to understand, I'm going to start with a sermon that I preached. Like I said, I'm going to put that first. It's about 15 minutes, and then we'll come back to this. And also going to share some health tips that has helped me, continuing with the process we were talking yesterday, and I'll meditate upon some verses for you to think about, how to overcome this economy and to be in the economy that is right for you, that makes you whole and complete, wholesome and complete, so that there's nothing missing. And that's the economy that I have, and that's the one I want to share with you. So you can also, you also have access to it. And I'm in that economy, even though I'm in the midst of what the world calls a pandemic. I am whole and complete in my economy because I do not live in this economy that the world lives in. I'm in a higher economy than that. And that's my whole idea, to share my own experience. I can only take you where I'm at. I cannot take you beyond. And I'm happy to be there. So, and I'm enjoying my life, my soul. Everything is complete as it is right now. Nothing is missing, nothing is lacking. And from this economy that is offering me the solutions, I don't need them at all because it's not affecting me one bit. So that's where I want to take you to. Now this is something that I share with the kids. Let me put this on the screen here. Let me see. Um, see how big I can make it here. Oh yeah, I can make it bigger. Oh, that's good. All right. So this is something you're gonna see me a little chubbier because that was in 2005. So let me just run this. We're gonna enjoy watching. These are kids. I went there to substitute because the teacher was not there, so I preached them a little sermon from the book of Ecclesiastes. So I'm gonna share this with you here right now. Make sure. All right, here we go. All right.
Now, what's today's date?
June 10th, 2005.
June 10, 2005, and it's a Friday, right?
Yes.
I think it's probably the last day I'm going to be substituting this year for any class. Nobody has told me anything for next week. But in any case, it's been a pleasure substituting for you guys. I think I've done more songs with you guys than anybody else. But today I have a little quick message, and it's right there on the board. Let me just grab it with the camera here. And it's called the CEOs, because from now on, these are going to be the acronym I'm going to be using for most of my messages everywhere. But this is something I have for the internet. It's called the CEOs.com. You know, and the CEOs stands for Chief Executive Officer, which is the highest title you can have in any corporation. If you're the CEO of a company, that means you're the top dog in charge of everything. So to me, the messages of God are the top messages. See, so I call it the CEOs.com. So all my messages I'm gonna. So this one is called the Crowning Education of Souls. Like you can see that spells the CEOs. Yep. Crowning Education of Souls. So I'm gonna give you this today, and so okay, here. Let me get this guy here because he's not gonna be in the rest of the camera. But this is gonna be the cameraman for today, Henry.
So happy.
Yeah, come and hold it. Okay. Now here, you zoom in and out. It's taping right now. So just don't worry. I mean, while I'm talking, you zoom in and out. You go around, you see the people, and come back to me, and then just, walk around. Just don't take the floor,
Hi, Blake.
Okay.
Hi.
All right.
My
Now pay
hair's not
attention.
fixed.
In the book of Ecclesiastes. Now, where's that? In the New Testament or Old Testament?
New Testament.
Ecclesiastes?
Now my hair's fixed. Old Testament.
It's in the Old Testament. Now, Ecclesiastes has an interesting beginning. Yes. Okay, so
Dang it.
this is the last one going. I only have
Look at you, Katie.
7 more minutes now. You gotta wait for 7 minutes now. Then you go down and then you guys can go anywhere you want to go. Okay. Now, in the book of Ecclesiastes, it has a very interesting beginning. Now, the word Ecclesiastes means preacher. It's the book of the preacher. That's what the meaning of that.
What's up?
Now, it has changed to that. Now, no comments, please. You stay. All right. Now, in the book of Ecclesiastes, it says at the beginning, the words of the preacher, the son of David, king of Jerusalem. This is Solomon who's writing this book. And he says, vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Now, this is very interesting because the word vanity means that something has no purpose. It has no meaning. It has no bearing on your life. But vanity of vanities, all is vanity. That will mean that everything will be useless. If you just look at it without any perspective. It will mean that this whole classroom is useless. But it's not useless. It's useful for teaching you, right?
Yes.
But he's saying all is useless. There's vanity, vanity, everything is vanity. So what is useless in regards to what? That's what you need to ask the question. What is he talking about? Because my TV is useful for me to watch a program. My computer is useful. So what does he mean everything is useless? So you got to go to the end of the book to find out what he's comparing to. I'm just going to take you to the last chapter on Ecclesiastes. And what he's saying, vanity, of what everything is useless for, is for this purpose. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 12. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments. Okay, can we sit down there for a minute?
Okay.
Now focus your attention on me here. When I tell you to get up like this, then you can go ahead. Okay, this is a very important part. It says, now let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. So this is what I'm talking about in this whole book. That's what I'm saying. This is the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God, which is another word for respect your Creator, or pay attention. Because the people you respect, you pay attention to, right? Yeah. The people you don't respect, you don't care what they say. Talk to the hand. That's what you do, right? But the people you respect and you admire, you want to hear what they have to say. So it says, fear God means respect God, pay attention, listen to Him, and keep His commandments, which means do what He says. And then it says, it's something interesting. It says, for this is the whole duty of man. Now, in the King James, which is the Bible I'm reading to you from, the word duty is italicized, which means it's not in the original Hebrew. That word is not there. So in the original Hebrew, it reads, fear God, which means respect, pay attention, listen to God, and keep His commandments and do what He says. This is the whole of man. The word duty is not in the original Hebrew. They try to put it in the English word to try to make it more understandable, but makes it more confusing. Because this word whole is talking about, this is what completes. In other words, you're not complete until you have the Word of God and you're doing it. Then you're a man and then you're a woman. You're nothing without the Word. That's what it's trying to say. It's not the whole duty, it's what makes you complete. So that's why I entitled this, The Crowning Education of Souls. You see, you begin to call my little prince or my little princess the moment you're born. Your parents give you those titles. You know, they give you the titles of royalty. You know, you can go around now. You know, but they do, you know, that means they want the world for you. They want the best for you. They want you to be a king. They want you to be a champion. They want you to be the best that this world can be. You know, so they give you those titles. So when should you become a king or a little princess or a little prince? The moment you get to school, you should get your crown. You know, the word that is being given to you should make you feel complete. Like there's nothing lacking. I'm complete now. The world has nothing to offer. I have everything to give to the world. That's how you should feel. But sadly to say, you go to school, and then you just discover, man, there's so many things I got to learn, because if I don't be able to get things, and I'll be nobody in this world. So you go to school to become more empty and to feel that you have to get a lot of things to complete yourself. That should not be the case. The word that is given to you in school should be enough to make you feel that, you know, you have been completed. Now, I'm going to use a little thing here to make you understand, you know, more or less the time that we are. You know, all of you are familiar with computers. Young people know that, right? How many of you have a computer at home? All right. Hey, go around, you take all of the hands there. The old people here, apparently almost all of them, you just go around quickly. Hey, Henry, just turn around and go like that.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, it's not to go all over. Yeah, you see, there's a show of hands right there. So there we have, every young person here is familiar with a computer. Now, let me explain something about computers. You know, in the computer world, there's a technical term for something that is, if you have a motherboard, which is the core, you know, where all the things are attached in the computer, and you have memory, you have a hard drive, you have everything, but you're missing the operating system. That means it has no Windows XP or no Windows 98. It has no program in it. The thing is not called a computer. It's called a bare bone kit. That's what they call it, because it doesn't have the word. It doesn't have the program in it. It can have everything. You know, it has the memory, it has everything, but it just doesn't have any program, doesn't have any word in it. Therefore, they call it a bare bone kit. And so the people that are programmers and that can put computers together, they rather buy the bare bone kit because they're very cheap. You can buy them for $150. And all you have to do is just put the program. So if you have access to the program like I do, you know, I can just put a program, and then all of a sudden, this bare bone computer can be sold in the market for $1,000 just because you have the program in it. So we can amazed how many people, you know, Well, just because it has a program in it, it goes. So it's the programs that make it very hard for computers. Because the program can cost $200, $300, $500. All the different programs that you can put in the computer. So you spend a lot of money in programs. You know, I have a portfolio of programs that's about $200,000 worth of programs I have. You know, because that's the most expensive thing when you get a computer. The computer is really cheap. You spend $2,000 at the most, you can get the best computer. But you're gonna get all the programs, from drawing programs like CorelDRAW, you know, all the Office Suite, all the programs in there. It'll cost you a lot of money. You know, lots of money because it's the Word that is very expensive. But guess what? It's only when the operating system, Windows XP or anything, is put inside the computer, then it's called a computer. Then it's a complete computer. That's what made it complete. In other words, this whole thing was made to have the Word and to have the programs. If it doesn't have the Word and doesn't have the programs, it's not a computer yet. It's not complete. It's called a bare bone kit. That is exactly what happens to human beings. If you don't have the Word of God, you're going to be looking for things out there to complete you. You're going to be looking for circumstances, like becoming a star. You're going to say, I need the attention of the whole world upon me, and then I'll know that I have arrived, that I'm somebody, and I'm whole. You know? And the same idea. The thing is, the world knows that you're empty on people. You know? People that make products, they know that you're empty, and therefore they promote the products with the idea of completing you or making you whole. You know, like Nike, from Nike's or any commercial out there, they'll sell you something like, look, this is something you need to have and wear so you can be made complete. You can be in the in crowd and you can be whole. You know, so these makers of things give you an image of a product that's going to make it complete because they know that people are empty. So those that they go get this product or get this thing so they can be better than the rest and be made complete by it. You see, so the person that is not complete by the Word is going to be taken by any fool that comes around with a product in their hands. You know, and so the whole idea of coming to the Word of God is to recognize that if you don't have the Word of God in you, you are not complete. You have the shape of a man or woman, but in God's eyes, you're not a real man or you're not a real woman until you have His Word. Because His Word made you, it makes you give His thoughts away. What do you think God gave you a mind? So you will give the thoughts of God away when you speak. What do you think God gave you a heart? So you will feel what God feels toward His creation. Everything was for you to identify with Him, with the way He feels, with the way He thinks. That's why He gave you those things. So if you do not have the Word that leads you into the mind and the heart of God, you are here in vain. And everything else that you get is in vain. You can get 1,000 cards, but what the point of that is? And the author of this book, he knew what he was talking. He was a king. You know, Solomon is the only king in the Bible that had 1,000 wives.
Whoa!
He got 700 wives and 300 concubines. Now, concubine is a second-class wife, but he's a wife. So he's the only king that he got plenty of women, so he could brag. And I got all my chicks, you know. My ladies here, you know, he can say that stuff. You know, like all these black people in the rap think that they have some women. He had women.
I
Yeah. So he had all this women, he had all this gold, he had all these things. And he was able to say, when he preached, he says, all this, I've tried everything, none of that completes me. You know, none of that makes me whole. All of that leaves me empty. So at the end he says, so I'll tell you what, I tried everything. I tried this and I tried that and now found that all of that does not complete me. Only paying attention to what God says and doing what He says is what makes me whole. It's what makes me complete. So that's what he's trying to say in this whole book. So I give you a little synopsis in less than 10 minutes so that you will be a little encouraged. And when you read the scripture, you know what you're going for. You're going there to complete yourself. You know, 2,000 years ago, about 3,000 years ago, God told the people of Israel, you need to live off my page. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt have good success, and then thou shalt make thy way prosperous. Have anybody ever heard that verse?
No.
It says that in Joshua. This book of the law, that means you got to live with that faith. Because back then, you know what the Bible was? The Bible was like a little scroll. You know, something scrolled this way and scrolled that way. And they would open it up like this, and it would all roll down like that.
Oh.
So it was a whole big page, and the Bible was written on that. That's how the Torah is written, and like two things like that, and they roll it out. So they were supposed to live off a page of sacred scripture. And now you know what the people are doing now? Thousands of people are living off a page. They have their home page and a website, and they make a living off of it. Guess what? God thought of that 3,000 of years ago. They thought that their soul needed to live off of a page. Now we're doing it to live off our physical things, but still people are not made complete. People can have all their web pages and still feel that I gotta do something more. I gotta get one thing more. Because that page was not the one given for you to complete it. But there are thousands of people right now, just focus on me. There are thousands of people right now looking and wishing they had a page or an idea that they can live off on the internet. And guess what? You can get it. Like this is going to be a page, on the website, but this is not what completes me. What completes me is what this book says. And what the mind of God is revealed to me, and how the heart of God is revealed to me. Okay, so that I encourage you to get into this book to complete yourself with it. Because the world is going to tell you, no, I got this product that's going to make you feel whole. It's going to make you together. They're going to make you feel like you got it all. And so you're going to be left, out there in ignorance, going from one person to another, from one product to another, thinking that that's going to be complete you, thinking that that's going to be Mr. Right, or your soulmate, or all these things. The only Mr. Right and the only soulmate is this. Like the only thing the computer needs to be made complete is the programs, is the word. And the only thing that the soul needs to be made complete is the word of God. And I've said.
Yay.
All right. Thank you for your time. DJ, thank you, Henry. All right.
All right, okay. I brought a lot of good memories. Well, in any case, some of those kids are my friends in Facebook now, so I'm going to be tagging some of them. But it's wonderful to see some of them, growing out to be some professionals now in this economy that, that is under attack right now. And I believe some of them are at home right now because part of depending on this economy is that they can't really hold you up, can they? So they will stop the jobs, they will have you home, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? So that's the whole idea, So that's why I was quoting also there Joshua 1:8, this book of the law, this book of the Torah, the teachings orderly regulating all humanity. There's teachings for everything, So, but this is the original, the original economy that was given to us, and it was basically to reveal the character of our Maker. Because in the Garden of Life, where the trees and the insects and the animals are self-replicating, they don't need you to do the work of making any one of them. They can do it all by themselves. So in this garden, all of them are self-sufficient and can do the FMR, be fruitful, multiply and replenish. And in this garden, and they give all that they have, as God has ordained for them to do it. When you're raising that garden, all that is left for you to do is just to learn the mindset of your Maker and to communicate it to all creation. Okay, but just as the garden that you raise in, that's how you end up being. If you depending on the garden that is nourishing you, that's how you end up being. Like if you're raised in the Garden of Lack. The Garden of Lack is this place made out of man-made plants and factories where you have to go there and make the products there. You have to go make the computers don't make themselves. You got to go make the cars don't make themselves. You got to go, this is a Garden of Lack. This is not self-replicating, Therefore, it's natural for you to think, that I need to get somebody so somebody can take care of me, because that's how you're raised in this Garden of Lack. You have to go take care of somebody's plant because that plant cannot be self-replicated because it's something, it's not organic. It's not something that God made directly. So you think that it's common for people just to, munch off of others and depend on others and think nothing of it, because that's how this garden trains you. But if you're in the Garden of Life, you learn to enjoy knowledge and learn to build up the word that is in you so that you are useful to all mankind. Like I used to collect all kinds of computer programs because I had access. People will send me links to where I can get all this bunch of programs, and I just have access to all those programs, I just don't do that anymore. But at that time, I remember everybody go, hey, Zach, can you hook me up with some AutoCAD, whatever little thing, and I'll give it for free. Because the people sharing it were sharing it for free. So I have access to all these programs, and that's what I enjoy. So as long as there's a being the age of computers, I had never had to pay for music or movies or anything. I had access to all of that and programs and everything. That's the beauty of when you want to live off of the wholesome word, and there's so many generous people that share it. And but what I'm saying is, so it depends. You want to raise your life to that status. You want to build the bar, that is in you. And let me share a song right now that we're gonna sing in regards to the verse Joshua 1:8, and then I'm gonna expound on this verse here in Isaiah chapter 8, verse 11. That is up here. I have it on the screen, but let me get to this song right now. Let me see if I have this set up here right. Put it here. All right. This is this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night. Let me put the words. All right. Yeah, we go. That one over there. Joshua 1:8. All right. Let me see. So, all right. So let me put myself here singing first, and then I think like that works, right? All right. Let me see. So I press here. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, for thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. The book of the law, the book of the law, the book of the law shall not depart. The book of the law, the book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. Joshua 1:8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, for thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. The book of the law, the book of the law, the book of the law shall not depart. The book of the law, the book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. Last time. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, for thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. For then thou Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you missed a lot of stuff there. Let me just repeat myself again. Sorry that you were not hearing anything. I forgot to turn this thing on. But what I was saying, is that, you know, like I'm calling it a bar, which is for word in Hebrew. I'm calling it economy because economy is just having a wholesome word, something that you know something about. Because everything begins as an idea that you write it down and you put all the measurements or what have you that you're going to do, and then you proceed from there. But you have a wholesome idea inside of you, a wholesome concept, you can build up a whole economy, a whole industry. That's how everything starts, but it starts in your head. Okay, so that the first economy that was given to us, the original one that was given to us, the Torah, the teachings orderly regulating all humanity, uh, they were for the purpose of revealing the character of completeness that our Maker has, so that it will flow out of us. And in that Torah, everything is given. So, and the Torah has been tried and tested all these years, where even though it's been dispersed, the Jewish people have gone to all corners of the world, but they still have managed to keep the Torah in their learning. They still have managed to, no matter what, and they have encountered some dire, really difficult situations in the lands in which they have been dispersed. But I was all part of, when a product is sent out in the market and can withstand the test of time and trials and tribulation, and keeps on going, you can see. So the teachings in that, if you memorize those 4 or 5 books, you can run a whole nation, and you can run it for perpetuity, as it has proven so to be. It has gone through all kinds of things, being thrown out of places, and still continues. And so it's a very grounded word that has proven itself to can go through any kind of economy. So, so that's one of my goals, to memorize it in the original language. Memorize it. Hopefully, in the next 5 years, I'll get to do that. That's my plan for sure. I want to memorize it backwards and front. All the way in the sequence, because that sequence of the Hebrew letters that's the map of creation. I'm convinced of that, and but that's what I was talking here. You come to the scriptures, you come to the Torah to complete what is missing. Just like I was explaining to the kids there, a computer that has no software in it, but only has the hardware, everything from the hard drive, the memory, and everything. That's what it's called, a bare bone kit, and that's what you are. If you don't have the right word that was made for you to introduce you to your Maker, you're a bare bone kid. Like that's why the Bible mentions about the value of bones. It's a bunch of bones that need to be put together and be joined together because they don't have the word, so they are only identifying with the dust of the earth. And it's just like the bones, die and they become one with the dust. The people that do not have the knowledge of their Maker, they become one with the dust of this world. And they identify with all the products and services that come out of the dust. And they want to be in the proximity of those products and services to think that they've arrived or they've done something. But that's the economy of the garden of lack. We were not made to follow that economy, but to understand the mindset of our Maker, because once you come to that understanding, you rise above everything else. And so, one thing I want to share is what I was talking to you about last night about, the world calls conspiracy, all the things that are happening, and they say that all these things are taking place behind the scenes. When you talk about conspiracy and stuff like that, what you do, you enhance the value of a lie. Because everything that is not based upon giving you the word that belongs to you, which means the revelation of your Maker, everything, like I said yesterday, is useless. Okay, it's not what's made for you. So the thing is, anything else that you say that they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that, because everything that the rest of the world is trying to promote for the use of the word, their own economies or what have you, is just a corruption of the economy. Understand? To the Creator of all things, there's only one economy that is valid, and that's the word that was given in the Torah to reveal His character. That's the only Torah that is valid. That's the reason why the word was given. That's the reason why he's, made us to carry the word for that purpose. So if anybody comes and uses the bar, the words, to reveal something else, some other plan, some other agenda, all of that is a corruption. Gotta get it through your head. That's a corruption of the original economy. Okay, it's a getting away, it's an apostasy, it's a wandering off from the original purpose. So all the economies of the world are only a corruption of the original economy. And so that's why in Isaiah it says, all nations before him are like a drop in the bucket. They are less than nothing. All of that is in Isaiah 40. Because they have acquired, they use the words to, if you please, to propagate an economy of their own, but that economy has nothing to do with the agenda of God revealing who He is to our souls, but it has something to reveal with their own plans, what products and services they want to get from the dust. All of that is just a corruption of the original economy, of the true economy. So the Maker does not validate those things, all right? He doesn't give them the same respect that he got for the one that he gave to begin with. That's the only thing that is valid to him. And so when his original, economy of the bar that reveals his character is not being used at all, people don't want to use it for that original purpose, that's when he's getting ready to wipe out everybody, because the whole world is made to behold his face, to behold his character. And if we are the ones made in his image so we can have it come out of us, we are the only ones equipped for that. And so if we want to shut our doors so we don't want to use the original economy for that, then guess what? You're out of it. Like you're like Sodom and Gomorrah. You're fired. Fire from heaven. You're being fired. You're like all other nations that have risen to prominence and then go down, into the annals of history like they never existed. Nobody even knows their names. Because he said all of that. But one thing I need you to understand is that the reason why he tells you not to worry about the Confederacy and all of that, I'll explain to you right now. But let me read verse 11 here from chapter 8. For the Lord spake thus to me with a strong hand and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of these people, saying, say ye not a confederacy or conspiracy to all them to whom this people shall say a confederacy. Neither fear ye their fear, nor be afraid. Sanctify the Lord of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. And to sanctify the Lord means sanctify the word, the bar, the economy of the Maker. Okay? And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, and for a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, and for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. So in this passage, it's very interesting because if you just afraid to damage, if you're afraid to do anything that will damage the expression of the original economy, the one God gave us for us, if you just live for that awareness, God becomes a sanctuary to you. You are protected. But then God himself, and he becomes a stone and a stumbling block to the rest, and a rock of offense, and a gin and a snare. He becomes that. So whereas he is a sanctuary for you, he is something completely other different. So he is the one that becomes that. You understand? So because people want to follow the economy that is a corruption from the original, the ones that every nation and people come up with to run their own agenda, then what happens? He let the people that do not fear his original way of using correctly the economy, the bar, and he let them believe the lies that people have come, and those lies destroy them because those lies are not based upon the real things that take care of your body, your soul, and take care of this planet. Okay? Everybody comes up with an agenda how they're going to run things, but if it's not based on the original plan, it just goes down the drain, and you go down the drain with it because you're trusting a bunch of lies, and to prove you that that's how the case is, that's why it says, if the people do not point you to the Torah, the original Torah, verse 20, to the law unto the testimony, to tell you what the original economy is and what was the purpose for it. If they don't prompt you to that, you know, if they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them. They have nothing to give you but to rely on a refuge of lies. And so that's why it's useless to try to think that there's a conspiracy in this and that people are doing anything by their own power. No, everything is done by the power of the Almighty alone. Okay? And those that trust His word in the original way that He gave it, you know, He keeps them. You don't have to keep them safe. Just like He's done with me since I have trusted His word alone and nothing else. You know, He knows how to keep my life. You know, I don't even have to pray for those things. All that I don't pray, oh God, keep me safe from me. I never pray that nothing will happen to me. I never, because prayer, when you understand the original intent of prayer, the word prayer in the Hebrew means to cause oneself to think. That's the original meaning of the word prayer in Hebrew, is to cause oneself to think. And that makes perfect sense to me. Because for a long time, I will not ask God for anything because I will just be wondering, studying the Bible and wanting to understand this and that. That was my main concern. I was just busy. And that makes perfect sense. Because if you're studying the Word of God and you want to find why this says something here, and then you go into the Strong Concordance, you compare the word appearing here and there, and you're putting everything together, that's the real prayer. Because you want to understand the mindset of your maker. You know, it's like you're working for the boss and you want to be on the same page with your boss. So you want to see you want to study everything that he studies and everything, so you can understand what he's thinking. That's what happens. So the people that do that, those are the real prayer warriors, you know. But we think that just telling God what to do. God knows exactly what He's doing. You don't have to tell or remind Him what He's doing. He knows what He's doing. You know, He's aware well of this pack. He's running, He's orchestrating this whole thing according, you know, to those, you know, to whom are not listening to Him, are not afraid of to conform to the original economy and don't want to follow. To them, there's appointed a fake economy, you know, that the nations are running. And so He gives them over to that because they will not listen and they have no fear for the original economy. So therefore, you're destroyed, you know, in the hands of those that promote the refuge of lies. Now, to give you proof of that, I'm going to give you Deuteronomy chapter 28. Make sure I'm still with you guys. So Deuteronomy chapter 28, it says here, I'm going to read some verse 58. This is the book of the curses and the blessings, in which He gives at the beginning like 13 blessings. If you follow and do everything and of His voice, you follow the word, the original economy as He gave it. But if you don't, then He says that He's going to do a lot of things to you. It's curse upon curse and upon curse. One curse after another. And He says that He is the one doing it. Okay? He's not saying I sent the devil to do it. He says, He's just saying He's taking credit for it doing it Himself. Okay? So that's why it's useless to say these people are doing this and that. No. God knows exactly what everybody's planning, you know. But He authorizes who's going to get away with it if He says that it's necessary. So He gives, they let go, but He takes the credit for everything that happened. Whether it be, you know, of what you call evil for you or good for you, He takes the credit, you know. I, the Lord, do all these things. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. I do all these things. Okay, so that's why it's useless to try to give credit to some conspiracy theory as to think that man has any power to do anything whatsoever. There's no such thing. Okay, but I read the verse 58 here. This is from Isaiah 28:58. If thou wilt not observe, this is God talking, if thou wilt not watch or observe to do all the words of this Torah, law is Torah, that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, you know, my reputation, what it stands for. The Lord thy God, you know, that's the reputation. The Lord thy God, what it represents that, you know. Then the Lord will make thy plagues, you know, like this pestilence, that this virus we're going through, it will make thy plagues wonderful, you know. And that's not wonderful in a good way, you know. That means it's going to be very atrocious. Wonderful. And the plagues of thy seed, the generation that comes after you, even greater plagues, and of long continuance, and it can last for a long time, and sore sickness and long continuance. Moreover, this is God saying, He will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law. Then I said, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. So who's going to bring all this? The Lord. You know, the Lord is going to do all of this. The Lord is the sanctuary. Oh, he is your stumbling block and a snare and everything if you don't want to obey his voice. So it's useless to try to think that man is doing anything on his own. Man has no power to do anything but what God enables them and empowers them to do, because people will not follow and obey his voice. So that's why I'm telling you, just focus upon the original economy. That's all you need to worry about. He takes care of everything else. If the rest of the world don't want to listen, they'll be under the care of him as well. It's not like nobody escapes him. He becomes a sanctuary to you, and he becomes a stumbling block. It's there until they are all destroyed. So it says, in verse 63, and it shall come to pass that as the Lord, verse 63, and it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoice over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. So you understand? That's why only the Lord needs to be feared. Only the maker of all things, because he runs everything. He knows that this whole creation was made to see the display of who he is coming out of us. But if we are holding back the display of who he is, then all the organic world is crying out for his presence, but you are obstructing that because you will not listen to his word, you will not attend to his voice, so he has to move you out of the way. Because everything was made for the display of his glory and who he is, not for our own agendas or what we have. So that's what you need to understand. So I'm telling you something that makes perfect sense. You're wasting time if you're going with the people that are trying to figure out conspiracy theories and think that they're good because they know something that somebody else doesn't know. All you do is give strength to lies. Okay? God is the one everything. That's why he says in verse 63 again, and it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoices over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to nothing. And ye shall be plucked or taken off, like a plant that is just uprooted, plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Okay, wood and stone. Just like the metals made of gold and stones. And even the money is made 72% out of cotton. Cotton is a wood. Okay, so people worship money that is made mostly of wood and precious stones. So that's what people follow, the monetary system. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and a failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, would God wish it were the evening. And in the evening, you shall say, I wish it was the morning. Like right now, people don't know what to do with this quarantine. Right? For the fear of thine heart, wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spoke unto you. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. That's so sad, at the end of not listening to your maker. Because like I say, creation begs to hear the display and to see the manifestation, the organic creation that is. and us not trying to show it to him because we're the ones assigned and made in his image to reveal him, if we fail to do that, you know, then we are grotesque, something that is foreign to this whole land. And this whole land's begging for us to be wiped out of it because they're begging to see the Creator flowing out of us, and we are holding him back. So don't hold anything back from listening to anybody else. Only listening to the original economy. You know, the Torah as it was given. Pay attention to it. Make it your whole and everything. And then he takes care of stopping everything. If he sees they're going to be usefulness for some society, so that the word in him will come authorized to reveal him, because you are, that's all the thing that you treasure. That's become the treasure of your life, your soul and everything. Then he will see to it that everything that he has arranged comes to an end. But if he doesn't see anything proceeding further, then he could also bring everything, because everything is his. All right? So just so you know, only to fear him, okay? Now, I was going to share other things that I've been using to eat, but I'm going to give you more of that tomorrow, Sunday. I'm doing this late at night, you know, because that's the time when I have thought for the whole day. I'm going to different things. I have so many things to say, you know. But one thing I wanted to share is because people are asking me, what kind of fruits you eat? You know, I eat like grapes and watermelon, pretty much. And sometimes I have some dates and some blueberries, okay? But it's mostly grapes, and that's the black ones, black Concord grapes. I have fasted on those. Those are really good for restoring you to perfect health. If you just want to fast 40 days, that is if you don't have any diabetes, it will be good for you to do a fast like that with Concord grapes. It'll heal you of anything too, you know. But in any case, that's things. So these are the things I've done, you know, in my life. I've done like sun gazing. It's helped me in different things. I done the urine therapy. I'll explain to that in which way that helped me, you know. But like I say, those, well, at least those are the fruits mostly that I've eaten. But other than that, I hope you know, that you listen to what's being said, you know, and take it to heart. That we are in the best situation right now to really listen to our Maker, to go back and understand, you know, that any agenda or any economy that is being forced upon us is the whole economy right now has proven itself by what's going on that is a failure. You cannot sustain things, you know, and all our leaders are fighting because there are a bunch of politicians, you know, politics, a whole bunch of people that suck blood. That's what many ticks, politics. And what can you expect from a lot of bloodsuckers? You know, no solutions. They're just fighting among themselves. Okay? But it's easy. The solution is simple. We were made to reveal him. So, let's get on with it. Let's reveal him. Because that's all his main concern. We're here looking at CNN every day. We're trying to look, you know, at what Fox News or what these people are saying. But guess what? The eyes of the Lord are going all across the world, and he's not looking to see what the news are saying. He's looking to see whose heart is perfect. He's looking for the heart that is perfect toward him, that he might work mightily for that person. That's what he's looking for. You know, he dwells among the highest thing. I mean, there's no thing that you can build for him, but yet he says that he will look upon him that trembleth at my word. That's what it says in Isaiah. You know, he looks for that person that, you know, that while the whole world is just, oh man, this is gonna happen. Oh, you know, we are gonna become fascist. Oh, this is happening. In the midst of all of that, you know, God is looking. Which is the one that is just concerned about what I think, you know? And when he finds something like that, that's where he rejoices and has a good time. So how many of you are bringing a good time to the Lord by having your heart complete in his word? That's why you need to be concerned. Because God is, you know, God gives CNN and all these people something to live off of, you know, of all these things that he strengthened the weird economies, you know, that are corruption of the original to do. So they have some work to do by, you know, promoting a bunch of lies that people think they're going to come through. But a man is a man. Okay, he doesn't have the power to make it happen. He might have plans, but only God decides which ones are going to go through. Okay, so listen. Get on with the job of revealing him. Grab that book and get into those pages, you know, and find your completeness in it. Because we were made for the dabar, for the original economy. So let's complete ourselves in the dabar for whose image we were made. Okay. Okay, let me get out of this. The problem with this part, I still don't know how to close it. Let me see. It's telling me that it's recording, but I don't know where to stop it. Oh, I know. F9 is this, right?